ओम महादेवी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात्।
Namaste. Today I'm going to talk another episode of fake gurus. The problem is I didn't want to talk about any of the fake gurus. I thought this is not my duty, this is not my responsibility. My responsibility is more towards my prayer and blessing with the attitude of Bodhicitta. But a lady called me up from America and she started telling that what I had told about certain gurus are very true. And she said, I am not asking you to give me anything. I just want to tell you what you're saying is the right thing. So the point is, there is a particular pattern by which these gurus operate. Now that I am going to highlight very, very clearly. So please understand, all these are all fake gurus' pattern of living. When you find it, become aware, you realize that these guys are really fake. Run away from them. Don't believe them. First of all, these people have a tall claim that they are enlightened, that some sadhana they have done and it has become Purnam. No, it is wrong. People who continue to do the sadhana, they will have niyama, nishta, which means they will follow certain patterns. For example, Ramana Maharishi got enlightened, but he continued to wear cowpeen. He was not dressing very flamboyantly, running around in Lexus car. He was not trying to preach to America, all that thing. If you go to the Nerur Brahmendra Samadhi, you will feel a subtle peace which you will feel even in the Ramanasram. The moment you sit there, your heart chakra feels a lot of pleasantness is there. So the first most important thing of the fake guru is they have not done their sadhana, so they will be more interested in lecture, discourse, trying to market something into their other person's life. And their presence does not enhance the silence. That presence does not enhance the peacefulness of the heart chakra. If you have any doubts in whatever I'm telling, I'm not trying to lie to you, I'm not trying to cheat you anything. I don't want you to follow me. I'm very, very clear. Don't follow me. If my words can be of some help to you, I'm really thankful to you. Go and sit down in the samadhi of all these great enlightened people. You will feel a subtle peace coming into your heart chakra. You feel as if your heart chakra and your soul gets connected with that. So the first thing of this fake guru is there is a lot of banter going on in the name of discourse. Real gurus are very silent, very subtle. They hardly speak few words, and that too a very enlightened being hardly communicates anything, because if everything is an illusion, what is there to communicate? Second thing with all these fake gurus, they separate the family. The husband and wife get separated. The children and the man get separated. This is very, very, very common in all these ashrams. They try to break the family. They try to rip the family into two. The real guru will not even say your family is a burden. He says, please do your sadhana, don't worry about it. The point is, these people want volunteers to do their work across. So they try to pull people, intelligent people, they try to pull people from their work. They try to portray as if the corporate world is full of problem. Sitting in the ashram without any responsibility is the peacefulness. I have seen lot of young boys, young girls resigning and joining some of the biggest ashram because these people are unpaid slave. Become very, very clear. If the guy is telling that you come to the ashram, you work here, you will have a beautiful life and living, the outside world is horrible, toxic, it is wrong. People who are very interested in doing the sadhana, they will say, take this sadhana part here and go do it in your house. Go and do the loving kindness into your house. Try to purify your family, your house. Don't condemn them. For example, I met a teacher who told me, Gopal, everywhere there are petty tyrants. There are people who will disturb your peace, your silence, your truth, everything they will disturb you. You have to develop your sadhana, your equilibrium to become successful in dealing with these people. You have to become placid like the water. If you throw stones at a placid water, hardly there is any ripple effect across. So in the same way, use the petty tyrants to grow up. They never told me, please break up your family, please leave your wife, please leave your children, please leave your commitment, don't make money, you come and work with me. I have never seen gurus who are of tremendous caliber ever doing that. So the second formula they do, they break up the family, they rip open the family, all that thing will be there. Third thing, all these people have court cases. They continue to have a lot of court cases. For example, you ask Bhagwan Ramana how many court cases he has had. You please ask how many court cases Chandrasekhara Saraswati has had. How many court cases has the great Vallalar has had? No. They will not have court cases, or in Vallalar case there was a court case which got dissolved, just matter of one hearing across. So the point is, please understand, all of them have a bundle of court cases and they say the world is wrong, they are suing me, they are shouting at me. All these things are there. Become aware. If the police have come, the warrant is issued, if they are arrested, there is some nefarious activity going on. Don't try to blame the police, don't try to blame the government, don't try to blame the political party. If because there is something wrong only, these people are coming inside. Osho Rajneesh was raided because there was a lot of nefarious activity which was going on. All his 3 disciples were put behind the bars. He just absolved the responsibility and he walked away having the Alfred plea. So please understand, all these people are very good in blaming others. So if they are having court cases, become aware. They are not the correct guru. A guru will not be interested in court case. He will simply say, okay, you take it. What is there across? All these people are billionaires' client. They lick the politician boot because they don't want any problem to come into them. So that is why you see the rich and powerful people who are coming inside there, because there is some kind of a money laundering activity, some kind of a support they want to drum up. That is why these people are kept. A real politician will not visit any of the holy man. Tell me how many people have visited Vallalar? How many politicians have visited Vallalar? How many politicians have visited Patinathar? How many politicians have visited Nehru, Brahmendra, Ramana Bhagavan? No. These people will never go there because they do not have any kind of an ulterior agenda which cannot be. These saints will say, no, I am not interested in all these things. Please take it away and go. That is the problem with all these guys. They are bootleggers and they promote themselves saying, I know Narendra Modi, I know this, I know that. I am not telling Narendra Modi is bad. What I am asking, why do you need badges? Why do you need affirmation from the outside world? If you are so self-contained, why do you need that? And the other important pattern is they are very, very abusive to the very close followers. They are very, very abusive. Outside they are very calm. Inside they are very horrible. They use bad words. They try to make their disciple cringe, and some of them go to the extent of beating other people. I am amazed. In Nityananda's case, he used to thrash people. Why do you need to thrash people? If you are an embodiment of compassion, he had a separate private jail where he used to put people inside. So please understand all these things very clearly. Their life is of two different dimensions. Internally they are very different, outside they are different, and many of them have multiple sexual relationships. Some of them are well known pedophiles. They get arrested for all these things. They simply say, I don't have wife, I don't have thing. All the women disciples sooner or later will become the consort of the guru. So please become aware of this particular phenomenon. Or some of them are pedophile, where they will rape very young girls, and some of them are homo-pedophiles. I know a very big Baba who lived in Bangalore and who had something called Whitefield, was suspected of all these things. Why do you need to do this? Because they have gone berserk, and that is why I am warning you. If there is a sexual scandal breaking up, if there is in the ashram, there is a whispers about the sexual scandal, leave. This is not the correct place. Don't get lost. God does not, and they justify it by saying, I am practicing tantra, this and that, and hardly they would have read the scriptures about tantra. They would have simply do not have any upasana. All the time they would be talking about Advaita. Now you can test the Guru's ability about the scripture very simple. Ask him to name 20 scriptural books what he has read, and they will not remember. I met a Swamiji who was from Himalayas. I asked him across, can you tell me the 20 books across? He simply told me, he said Ashtavakra Samhita, Guru Gita, Bhagavad Gita. Like that he went on rattling so many names because he has read them. He has given discourse on them. So please become aware, all these people are not knowledgeable. They talk about the Advaita part of the God. They are very good in communication. They are excellent in communication. Even Harvard Business School will have to take a lesson on marketing with them. They are amazingly good salesmen. They are fantastic salesmen. You probably will never even realize that they are out of the world as far as the selling is concerned. I know one salesman who met a guru. He said, hey, that guy is like out of the world. I am nothing in front of his closing. He closed $1 million deal. He made somebody pay them 10 lakhs for the ashram thing across. I know one lady who went across because she didn't have a child. They convinced her to give 1 lakh for Godana because it is written in the Akashic record. Don't believe that. Real gurus are not interested in going on taking a donation for building this temple, that avenue, that thing, this thing. Don't do it. If everybody is giving a donation, become very, very suspicious of it. There are marketing agents who have been made as a disciple who will really market across. They will not be interested in sadhana. They will be very much interested in promoting classes or any kind of activity, and they will make you pay the donation. This is another super duper technique which is used by them. That's why if you attend the class, it may be 5,000, 10,000 rupees, but they can make you give lakhs of donation across as a person. All of them start 4 things. They start a school, they start a college, they start a hospital, they start a Godana, all that thing they start across as a person, because that's a way to collect the money across. I know somebody donated $600 million for the hospital across. He was a very famous guy whom I had predicted that he is going to die. And believe me, it is only for rich people, it is only for their people. No outsiders can go out and take any kind of medical help from them across. So become aware of all these things. They are anti-tradition. They don't believe in ritual. They don't believe in astrology. They don't believe in the precepts. They say we want to modernize the religion. There is nothing to modernize about. You cannot overcome the intelligence of Vyasa. You cannot overcome the intelligence of Parasura. You cannot, if you don't understand certain things, they will say it is all humbug, waste. Why you want to do that across as a person? So please become aware, they are subtly anti-tradition, anti-rishi, anti-ritual. Because if you pray and if you come to the divine light, you will leave them and go. Why do you need? You know, Vallalar, the great Vallalar, built a temple, and the temple was handed over to the trustees. There was no children, there were his brother's children were there. He never handed it over to them as a person. They still come and visit. They are not the holder of that. All these people have children, and it gets passed on to their generation, their people across. So become aware of that, and they will write some really lousy books which can be very, very pedestrian across. For example, I know a person who has written a book on death. I was so amazed, it got published even by Penguin. Now I will share my insights about death and all that thing and how the beings come into it. You will be amazed it has of much quality across. Why Penguin publishes it is because they will have a lot of sales. They have some kind of a very pedestrian normal knowledge which they try to market it like hell, like hell. For example, Shambhavi Mudra, there are other mudras in yoga. For example, there are something beyond Nirvana Shatakam. They have no only one thing. That's why they tell you in sales, know one thing and go on marketing it. It is called as, what do you call it? Focus. They call it as some kind of a focus, and they are too good at it. Now, for example, Nirvana Shatakam, you believe it, the way they will market, because they know only one thing. They don't know many things, so they try to keep on marketing it. You ask them another 10 kinds of poetry, you ask them about Bhaja Govindam, you ask them about other things, no, they will not be aware of it. And all the time they will be meeting up people. They won't have time to do their personal sadhana. They will be meeting up people, meeting up celebrities, and lot of time they will have a series of women disciples who will be there, and we don't know what happens between them, and it is kind of very, very suspicious across. And all of them claim avatarhood, all of them cover enlightenment, but they will use devatas. Why do you need to use devatas? Nattakallum besumo nadanulirikka sutta setti sattuvam karichuvayum arimo. That is what Agasthyar says. Agasthyar says, if you claim you are enlightened, why do you need devata and mantra? It is like a ladle which has never experienced a soup. You are also never experiencing God. That's why you're blabbering. So become aware of all these traits across. And they have a flamboyant lifestyle. They can never practice simplicity. All of them are like Osho imitators. Osho had 300 cars. He was berserk, he was mad. So all these people will try to have latest cars, latest helicopter, latest Ducati bike. For what? For what are you trying to prove? They will tell, no, we are trying to save Hinduism. No, Hinduism need not be saved by all these people across. See, there was a monk who died just like that. He sat down and he died. It had become world famous. It got several times, it had got what you call it as people shared it across as a person. So if your sadhana is very good, there is no need to indulge in publicity. Anyway, you will become famous. You go to Vipassana camp, they'll make you sit down for 10 days, no cell phone, no nothing. You just need to sit down and do your practice. If your practice is less than 10% of the time, you are marketing 90% of the time, don't believe in that. Don't believe in that. Your practice must be 90% and your interaction must be 10%. All of them have a grand celebration, gala event, because it will attract a lot of people and then they will try to talk about it. So please become aware of all these traits of these people across and don't get lost. It is a tradition which has a knowledge, that tradition which is followed by time immemorial. You cannot invent beyond a Gayatri mantra. You cannot invent fire worship. You cannot invent the Purusha Suktam. All Sri Suktam across. All these people are too great. They are, how can you ever even create something that lasts more than 5,000 years across? So all of them will have scandalous, will have court cases, will have publicity problem, will have a lot of nefarious activity with women. So please become aware. Some of them even go to the extent of murder to protect themselves as a person, and many of the time the people leaving the ashram will have bitter stories to tell. Listen to them. They'll tell you a lot of truth about it. Remember, apa deepo bhava. That's what the great Gautam the Buddha says. Have your practice, have your abhyasa and vairagya. Never ever Patanjali says it is the Guru's grace which will lead you to God. No. That is once in a billion lifetime. Somebody will have a guru like that of Krishna, somebody will have a guru like that of the Nehru, Brahmendra, all that thing. So don't get lost. Make your practice very clear. Abhyasa, vairagya. That's what Patanjali says. It's the riyas which will lead you to success. It is your practice. It is the match, not the coach, which will lead you to success across. I pray God that may all of you come out of these rogues, the lousy rogue who have made the Indian tradition go into dogs. I am not against genuine gurus, but I am against fake gurus. Please share this video. It's not because I want to become famous. Share with your friends. These are their patterns across. And the last pattern is they have enormous amount of land. They have acres and acres of land. Real rishis. I know one Swamiji who told, I don't want any ashram across. It is a snake who lives in the other hole. Such holy people I have seen. Nowadays it's very rare to find. I pray God that may you be free of all these rogues and may you find the right sadhana, not the right teacher. The right teacher can be there. Your right sadhana will lead you to God. Thank you. Namaste. Today we are going to talk about the manifestation part of it, where many people have a lot of confusion about the manifestation. The manifestation is of 7 levels, and the conflict between the various levels is the reason why people don't manifest things in their life. For example, there are 7 levels. Let us look at all the 7 levels. The first level is the energy. The energy is the energy you carry from your family, from your lineage at your birth time, which is called as the energy. The second thing is the intention. How is your intention? The intention will tell a lot. The seat of the intention is the hara point. The next level of the dimension is the feeling. The feeling component of it is how much you feel for that manifestation. The third one is the fourth one is the mind component of it. The clarity of thinking, visualization, all that is required. The fifth part is the speech, and the sixth part is the action, what you do to get those things done, and the seventh part is the impact of this entire thing. The problem with many people is they have a lot of conflict between the heart and the mind, between the intention and the mind, between the heart and the intention. All the different conflicts are there. That is why people find it very, very difficult to manifest across. Most people manifest equivalent or lower to their energies. For example, if you want to buy a pen, and if the pen is, let's say, 1,000 rupees, you would be able to manifest it because your energy level must be bigger than that of the pen. If your desire and your energy is equal, then the manifestation becomes equal. If your desire and the manifestation is very, very high, that is, if your energy is very high compared to your desire, you will be easily able to manifest. That's why buying a car for Dhirubhai Ambani might not be very, very difficult for him. And if your manifestation, if your desire is that which is very low compared to your energy, you will find the manifestation very, very difficult. For example, most people can manifest easily 10 rupees, 100 rupees, 1000 rupees, 10,000 rupees. But when it comes to manifesting lakhs, it will be very difficult. For many people manifesting in crores, it will be very, very difficult. So there is an energy gap between all these things. For example, if somebody wants to buy a house for 3 crores and if his salary is only 1 lakh, then paying monthly EMI of 3 lakhs will be very, very difficult. So if you go to crores, 99.99% of the people don't have the energy to manifest things across into their life across. So therefore the energy component has to be developed. The energy component can be developed with ritual, chanting, and also to dana and downloading the energy from the antakarna. All these things which will help you to improve your energy point of it. Now the second point of it is action. Now many people, intention and action are contradictory to each other. For example, somebody wants to lose weight, but their action is they do not do things to lose weight. They don't do exercise. They do not they eat a lot of junk food, all that thing. So this is a conflict between the intention and action. Now we will see the conflict between the impact and the intention. Suppose a girl is seeing a boy and she wants an educated boy, which is okay, she has manifested an educated boy. But she also wants that boy to be handsome, the boy also should have a good house. Then there is a conflict between the intention and the manifestation. So the point is, this is one of the conflict. The other one is the heart and the mind. The heart might say you have to study, but the mind might get tempted to all the social media posting which is being coming there. Now you can have a conflict between the heart and the speech. For example, you want to say something nasty, but you are trying to avoid saying that nasty thing using your will. So that is the conflict between the heart and the words. Now you can have conflict between the words and the mind. For example, in your mind you wanted to talk calmly and you want to express yourself calmly, but when it comes to speech, maybe you are very, very harsh, you lose your temper and everything across. So therefore the conflict between the action, mind, impact. For example, your idea might be to convince the person, your action might be to sincerely convince the person, but the impact might be very, very different than what you have anticipated across. Therefore, please understand, these are 7 levels of conflict all the time which is happening in the level. So totally there are 49 levels of conflict. That is, you put the x-axis, you put the y-axis. So that is why many people try to talk about one aspect of it. There are Western thinkers who talk only about the mind. There are Indian sadhus who only talk about the feeling. There are other people who talk about the intention. And also the meditative practice helps you to overcome the energy barriers which you have created across. So therefore, because there are people who specialize in one segment, they try to promote that segment alone. And for example, Neer Yal is one of the person who talks about using habits in social media which creates a lot of problems or a difficulty across. And also, for example, the impact. For example, socially, we want to train children in skills, not in knowledge, because they will have a direct impact into their work across. So, but the impact is not happening the way the education system has put it across. So therefore, we always have a lot of conflict. Now, this conflict is also used in the movies. For example, the heroine wants to follow her heart, but her father says the situation and the circumstances will not allow you to follow the heart. For example, she is in love with some boy, but the Indian condition, her family, our people will not allow her to get married across because the relative might say a lot of negative things to her as a person. Now also there could be the conflict between the mind and the heart and the intention. So for example, one lady wants to follow dance and dance related things across, but she finds it very difficult to follow because it is commercially very, very unviable into her life across. So this is human condition. All these 7 levels will fluctuate, and each and every day you have to bridge these levels: the heart and the mind and the speech, the intention and the action and the result. Like that you have to bridge it across. So that is why it is always wobbly in the human mind or in the human life. You see, there are 49 levels of fluctuations which happens. So you find it very, very difficult to control all these levels or even to understand one level. Yesterday I was talking to one lady who wanted to resign from Infosys. I asked her, what is the reason you wanted to resign from Infosys? She has never accessed the intention part of it. She simply said, I don't know, I just feel like doing it, so I'm doing it across. Sometimes the intentions are not accessed by people. You need to meditate, you need to go through the karmic churning and karmic surfing to come to that understanding that this is the problem, this is what I want to do to my problem across a person. So therefore, many people don't access the intention and the energy. All horoscope reading, palmistry, astrology, gnomes, divination, all talk about the energy body manifestation into the physical reality as a person. So therefore, one needs to understand the energy component of it, which is called as the swabha. For example, somebody might not eating like non-veg, but he will find it very difficult to work in a non-veg restaurant. Somebody might be eating or can be working in a vegetarian restaurant, but his heart might be in music across. So therefore, we find all the time the human being's heart, mind, intention, action, speech does not merge all the time. That is why people have a lot of unhappiness and dissatisfaction into their life across. Or probably you can call it as dissatisfaction, which Buddha calls it as tanaha. So there are 7 to 8 levels of layers of mind and layers of life, which creates a lot of conflict internally into a people's life across. For example, you take bungee jumping. Your intention is to jump into the bungee and go down the cliff, but your heart might not be feeling that you are ready for it as a person. Your mind might be saying, no, no, no. So when you do the bungee jumping, somebody pushes you across as a person, and then you jump it across as a person across. So therefore, bungee jumping, helicopter jumping, parachute gliding, all these things shows a real conflict between the intention, feeling and that of the mind. That's why many people like that exhilarated feeling across, and they realize that it is their own imagination and it is their survival mechanism which takes them across as a person. So therefore, even entertainment, anything is just the different levels and layers of conflict which brings out as a person. For example, the mummy might be telling, please do read for your education, for your classes, whereas you might not be so much interested in studying. So there is a conflict between the intention and the action across. So this also could be one of the biggest problem in the people life across. So therefore, it is very important that you meditate, you calm your mind, and you are able to see all the 7 layers. That is why the 7 chakras are given, but you'll have to reverse and see the chakra. The action is the Muladhara chakra. The speech is supposed to be the navel chakra. The solar plex chakra, we can call it as the mind part of it. The heart chakra is supposed to be the feeling component of it. The throat chakra is the word, and the intention chakra, Ajna chakra, is the intention. The Sahasrara chakra, we can call it as the energy. So this is the conflict between the different chakras which gets correlated into people's life across. We can also look at it that way. So try to work on each and every dimension, which will help you to manifest things faster. Since there is a conflict only, you are not able to manifest. Also, learn to raise your energy using rituals, using prayer, meditation, conduct, niyama, and also giving to other people, which will really help you to become what you call it as faster into your growth across. So therefore, this 7 levels of conflict is the 7 level of the chakra. You can correlate it with lokas, that is Bhu Loka, Bhur Bhuva Loka, Suvar Loka and all the things. But this is basically the internal conflict the people have as a person. And many people cannot access the hara point, which is the intention point. If you have practiced martial arts or some kind of an arts as a person, it will be very easy for you to access this. This is called as the Wu-Vi, the flow across as a person. So next time when you have a conflict, try to become very clear about which level are you having conflict into your life across. For example, somebody might be feeling something, but they might not be saying about it. So the conflict between the feeling and the heart is there. Somebody might be thinking something, but they might be communicating something. That's why in movies and all, you can say the comedian wants to shout at somebody, but he is very, what you call it, is very kind, compassionate in his action. This kind of contradiction becomes the joke in the person's life across. So unless you are able to access, understand the 7 levels, you will find it very, very difficult to manage life, especially the intention level. Many people are not very clear. They try to suppress their intention. They try to override their intention. That is why they have a lot of issue into their daily life across. And many people are not aware of the energy component of it. Everybody thinks it's the mind alone really matters across. No, it's the energy component also really matters. This energy gets influenced by different kinds of aura and different kinds of energy, like the family energy, lineage energy, your karma energy, your dharana energy, all that will come into force across. Therefore, it is very important that you understand the various layers of conflict which will help you to manifest. Some people want to make a lot of money intention-wise, but they are thinking all the time, it is better that we remain poor so that we don't become very corrupt, etc. It is not true. People who are successful, not all of them are corrupt. They learn how to play with the rules of life, but also if need be, they will mend it according to their problem also. So people have a conflict between the intention of manifestation and the manifestation itself. So do understand this, which will help you to overcome all kinds of anxiety, all kinds of problem across. Thank you. Namaste. Today I am going to talk about matchmaking. The first problem in matchmaking is each astrologers use kutas as a technique. They use nakshatra kuta as a technique. They try to match the nakshatra kutas and they try to tell their entire impact. The problem with this methodology is this. You cannot answer basic question like how will be the person's career, whether he will make money, whether he will be having kids, whether he will have own house, whether he will get along well with the mother-in-law. Like that, there will be a lot of questions in the client mind. Now, you need to sit down and answer that question. That is only possible if you take the horoscope and you try to analyze it, and that is how you will get your, what we call it as a answers to the question. If you are not very clear about this particular methodology, I have written a book on matchmaking which is available to you, which you can buy, read, and we have told the method how to compare between the two horoscopes and how to do that, which will give you a very good idea about it. The other problem is people talk about Mangal Dosh without telling the remedy. The remedy for Mangal Dosh is praying Lord Subramanya. If you do the puja, abhishekam, the Mangal Dosh will disappear across. But the main problem with many of the astrologers is they don't know the remedy, but they know the disease. So they are unable to tell a lot of things about this particular way. Oh, whether this is going to be like this or like that. Somebody called me up very recently and they wanted to check about the Mangal Dosh. I told, yes, your boy has Mangal Dosh, but it is not very severe. If Mangal Dosh is in the second house, the person will have a very, very harsh speech. If the Mangal Dosh in the fourth house, the person will have problem in buying the land and the person will be unforgiving. If the Mangal Dosh is in the seventh and the eighth house, person will find it very difficult to have conjugal relationship or sexual relationship will have a problem. If there are 12th house Mars is there, then the person will have problem related with sleep. So the main problem with the matchmaking is you can take one negative horoscope which is Mangal Dosh and you can try to match it with another Mangal Dosh. But the problem is sometimes the horoscope is good, the family is good, but you are not able to match it because the astrologer has said no, it does not match. So please understand that this is one of the problem. So you have to divide the horoscope into 3 levels. The horoscope which can be rectified with muhurta, whether the horoscope can be rectified with that of what you call remedial measure, or the horoscopes cannot be rectified with muhurta or remedial measure. Once you understand this way, then it is very easy for you to go ahead and help the person. The problem is some of the biggest astrologers in India or one who is very famous have no technical knowledge about the remedial measure. This include B.V. Raman. This include a lot of present generation of astrologers who are famous in North India, whom we do not want to talk about it. The problem is once you don't have a remedial measure, it will be very, very difficult to solve many problems. Now these people talk about remedial measure being charlatans, what is going to happen will happen and all that. It is absolute nonsense. Let me give you an example. There was a guy who was having Rahu Dasha and Rahu was probably in the 7th house. A lot of people talked about his disturbed married life and all that particular thing across. So we told him that he has to do for Rahu Dasha remedial measure, since the Venus was in Viparit Rajoga from Rahu or from the Lagna, and this helped us to freeze down. If we do Mahalakshmi Puja, you would become very, very successful across. So we did the particular puja. The guy became very, very successful. So the first, and everybody was shocked because they were expecting Rahu Dasha, it's very bad, you're going to go down, there's nothing which is going to happen like this across. But actually the person came out of all the trouble and all the difficulties across. So the point is, knowing the right remedy, doing the right remedy is not only a knack but also a greater understanding. So just look into the horoscope and find out whether remedial measures can be done. Now, if you have no idea about remedial measure, I have written a book on remedial measure. I have put classes in remedial measure which can be very, very helpful to you as a person, and you can use it in your day-to-day practice. This is not some kind of a book promotion exercise or a video promotion exercise, but a genuine sense of knowledge sharing across. So since if you know the remedial measure, then you will be able to handle 70-80% of the client very, very easily across as a person. Therefore, you should come to the understanding that matchmaking is a difficult subject, but it is not impossible. I have seen a lot of astrologers using nakshatra kutas. They take 100, 200 horoscope. Just with a minute, they start throwing down. It will require minimum 15 to 20 minutes for you to read a horoscope and come to a conclusion about that particular horoscope. So without viewing it from many angles, people try to throw down the horoscope and simply say this does not match, this does not match, and try to charge in a very low rate. For example, if somebody is selected for a HR interview, it will take some time for them to come to a conclusion. Same way, analysis is going to take time, and somebody is asking such a crucial decision, it would be very difficult for you to pronounce it just like that. Now, many people have no idea about the remedial measure. Many astrologers are frightened of taking a decision for others, so they simply say, no, it does not match, no, it does not match. They don't take time to understand the horoscope. They don't take time to read the horoscope. They say what is written is pre-written, and all that particular way they contribute about. They say what is written cannot be rewritten, which means the fate is written across on that thing. Yes, there is bound to be some amount of failure, some amount of great glorifying success. Sachin Tendulkar scores less than 50 innings and he becomes a legendary cricketer. So in the same way, it's going to take some time for you to come to that level of competence where you just by look at the horoscope and do that. Otherwise, it's a lot of hard work. So take time to find out about the horoscope, check the detail, and then you can do the matching. It'll be very easy. Many people don't have an idea. They separate lovers, they separate good families, they separate a variety of things without understanding the impact they have on their life. I know many astrologers have a tough time in their life because they play with other people's karma without understanding the consequences about it. So I request you to go through all these things before you talk about rejecting a horoscope. Always check whether the remedies are available. It will be a lot more helpful to you. Thank you.